While this Pokemon is widely known as a gentle, nurturing, protective force, the history and its origins, both in the Pokemon universe and its real life creation, are tragic. This is the story of Lugia. Approximately 700 years prior to the events of Generation 2, the people of Ecruteak City decided to construct two nine-tier towers that would hopefully allow for a peaceful and harmonious relationship between the people and Pokemon of Ecruteak City. These are known as the Brass and Bell Towers. In the Brass, or Western Tower, Pokemon were said to awaken, while in the Bell, or the Eastern Tower, Pokemon would go to stop and rest. These were also home of Lugia and Ho-Oh respectively. While peace and tranquility blessed both people and Pokemon alike in this region, it was only temporary. Tragedy struck Ecruteak City in the form of a lightning strike, one bolt blasting the brass tower, engulfing it in flames for 3 days. While Lugia did its best to put out the flames with its power of wind, it only put Ecruteak City into more danger. Due to this, Lugia decided to call upon the rains to put out the fire. However, the damage was done. It was too late. The tower burned to the ground, and in the process, it killed three nameless Pokemon. Fortuitously, Ho-Oh descended from the heavens, descended from the skies, and used its power of revival to bring back those three killed Pokemon. And this gave rise to the legendary beasts, or the legendary dogs, known as Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. In order to flee the despair caused by this tragedy, Lugia decided to hide in the Whirl Islands. But before settling down into the depths of the ocean, into the basin of the waterfall, Lugia ended a conflict between two nations fighting over the Whirl Islands, casting lightning bolts to tear the islands into four pieces. And it is said, Lugia will wait in solitude in the depths of the ocean, longing for the invisible trust between people and Pokemon to manifest once more. Now, there's several theories around this tragic event. While it could be safe to assume that a storm of natural causes hit the city of Ecruteak and that caused the damage. However, others speculate that Lugia itself caused the storm. We know the power of Lugia is terrifying and intense. With just a flap of its wings, it can create a storm that lasts for 40 days. With just a light flutter, it can level and decimate houses. So some believe the reason Lugia fled Ecruteak City is not only because it failed at saving the brass tower, but also because it actually caused the lightning strike itself. So as a way to not only protect itself from the potential anger of humans, but also as a way to protect the world from its power, it lives a life of solitude in the depths of the ocean, protecting civilization by staying away from civilization. Now, Lugia boasts an incredible special defensive stat. With its bulk, with its ability to tank, Lugia will also use its signature move, Aeroblast, which is a really strong flying type move. Yes, it is a psychic type Pokemon as well, and this gives it the ability to communicate through telekinesis. Only a few other Pokemon can do that, like Mewtwo.
Why are all those Pokemon down there?
Because they feel they must be here in case they are needed.
But please don't get confused. Lugia is a psychic flying type. Psychic, not a water flying type, even though it's known as the guardian of the sea. But with its ability to control weather, it is actually known as the master and leader of the three legendary birds, Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. Now, with the air and psychic abilities, Lugia has power over water and fire, and for this reason, it's created superior to the other three birds. Moltres and Articuno helped the Guardian by combining their supernatural abilities to create water, while Zapdos created the currents and the streams through its electrical power. As such, Lugia is the only Pokemon capable of ensuring these legendary birds do not wreak havoc on the planet as they fight over territory. The original creator of Lugia, Takashi Shudo, one of the chief writers for the Pokemon movies and anime series, was given freedom to create a Pokemon, and that was Lugia. and he held this Pokemon to the highest regard and was actually very possessive of Lugia. His original intent was actually not to have Lugia in the games, but only to keep Lugia in the movies and the anime. During his process of creating Lugia, it was discovered that he was consumed by alcohol and tranquilizers to an unhealthy degree as part of his creative process. But with the stress of creating this Pokemon, but also the conflict that occurred between him and the Pokemon Company, his substance abuse only increased. Shudo did not want Ash or Team Rocket in the Pokemon movie. He only wanted the focus to be on Lugia and Lawrence III, who is the main antagonist. He also designed Lugia to be the guardian of the sea. The sea. He wanted Lugia to be a water type. However, the Pokemon Company decided to make it a psychic flying type, which is more competitive. Shudo also wanted Lugia to be female, but the Pokemon Company again decided to make it male, as we could see with the male voice in the movie. However, we can safely assume that there is a breeding population in the anime for Lugia. We see in episode 220 of the anime that there is a baby Lugia, so that stands to reason there are breeding populations of Lugia. And Lugia is one of the only legendary Pokemon alongside Manaphy, Latios, and Latias to be in this population. However, all these struggles, all this conflict really pained Shudo, and as a result, his substance use got the best of him, and he ended up passing away in 2010 at the age of 61. And his death was determined to be subarachnoid hemorrhage. Now, Lugia pulls inspiration from the plesiosaurs and the aquatic birds. Now, there's also heavy influence from the Ryujin, which is a dragon that lived on the ocean floor and was the Shinto god of the sea, so their mythologies are very similar. And then Lugia's shiny colors, which is red and white, are the same colors as the coral Ryujin's palace was made of. He also, or Lugia, also resembles a wyvern, which is, a variety of dragons. I'm sure we've all seen them, but it has a single set of forelimbs that serve as their wings. And then it also could be based on the gray heron due to its avian body, coloration, face markings. There's a lot of similarities between the gray heron and Lugia. Now, the name Lugia pulls inspiration from several sources as well. The beluga whale, which is a white whale and has similar body to Lugia. It also might be based on the lutea, which is an early name for Bahamut, which is a giant fish, but is often being portrayed as a dragon-like creature in modern fantasy. Hence, it's like a fish and dragon-like creature. And then Lugia might be derived from the lutetium, which is a silver element, which in turn is named after Lutetia, which is the Roman name for Paris, the city of light. It might also incorporate deluge and Luna. And there we have the history and origins of Lugia. I will say there is an alternate form of Lugia that I can also do a video on. And I'm sure all the viewers know what I'm talking about. Let me know down in the comments if you would like me to do this alternate version of Lugia, and I will. But let me know your thoughts on the history and origins of Lugia. Let me know if you learned anything new. And as always, comment down the Pokemon you'd like me to do another origin story for. Also, check out our other origin and lore videos. Check out our openings, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.